A thrilling finish last night, and we are delighted to welcome in our buddy Chris Canty, who is here from Unsportsmanlike every weekday morning on ESPN Radio. A million places I want to go with you, but let's start there. We all kind of marveled at the fact that this team has been outgained in every single game, and yet somehow has Tomlined its way to a 5-3 record. Are they legitimate? Is this a legitimate playoff contender in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, they're going to be in the playoffs. I mean, nobody can muck up a game like Mike Tomlin's business. And you mentioned how bad they've been offensively. They have a negative point differential, and they're one of only two teams to still have a winning record when they do that. But, I mean, when you look at the remaining schedule, there's no world that exists in which the Pittsburgh Steelers don't find themselves in the playoffs. And what lets you know that Mike Tomlin has a good feel for his team and a good feel for the game is what he did before the game. They won the coin toss, and rather than putting the strength of his team on the field, which is the defense, he decided to go with their offense. They go down the field, double-digit play drive. They score a touchdown. That was the first touchdown that they had on an opening drive all season long. They were one of two teams not to be able to get it done. That just shows you how smart Mike Tomlin is, knowing what his football team needs each and every week.
Yeah, they ran it for 160 yards. That's Steeler football, and they found a way to win. All right, I want to go around the world here on this, almost literally around the world on this. Canty or Canty, it's the game that is sweeping the nation. Here we go. Let's start with that game in Frankfurt. I'm going to give you the quarterback matchup. You tell me if they can get it done. Can Tua outplay Patrick Mahomes?
No, he can't. And listen, the worst thing to happen to the Miami Dolphins is the Denver Broncos beating the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 8 because Pat Mahomes just doesn't lose back-to-back games. It's happened 3 times in his career. The last time it happened was weeks 2 and 3 of 2021. That's how far back you got to go. Pat Mahomes is usually money on situations where his team is trying to bounce back. That'll be the case in Germany.
All right, I want to hold on 1 second on that, though. We're going to come back to Canty or Canty, but you just made me think of something. So a few minutes ago, when we had Jeff Darlington on here, he mentioned that the Miami Dolphins have been in Frankfurt, Germany now for 5 days. The Chiefs arrived there this morning. Bear in mind, it's depending on where you are in America, it's 5, 6, or something like that hours later in Germany. So they just traveled there today. Yeah. And Bart, as soon as he said that, out of the corner of my eye, I saw you shaking your head. Why?
Yeah, because it's tough sometimes to acclimate to different time zones, and you talk about jumping over 2 time zones, as you know, Kansas City's in Central Time. It messes up your clock trying to understand when you're supposed to eat. You sleep wrong. You wake up tired. Miami's been there. We saw Jacksonville stay, right? And Jacksonville have tremendous success. And teams usually get off the slow starts because you're acclimating, your body's used. We're all creatures of habits. So, you know, we've had those, Seattle games. You know, you got to go a 6-hour difference. It's important. I think that the advantage should be Miami because they're used to their surroundings.
Yeah, and anyone who's ever done any substantial travel knows that going west is a lot easier than going east, and they're going way east. Do you like Andy Reid bringing his team over there just 2 days before this game in Germany?
I got to trust Andy Reid. It probably wouldn't be a move that would be comfortable for me as a player just because Bart is right. We are creatures of habit. But Andy Reid is 2-0 in the international series with the Kansas City Chiefs. He's won in London. He's won in Mexico City. So ultimately, I'm going to defer to his better judgment. And again, you're talking about a head coach that knows what he's doing and knows what his team needs. So being able to stay within the structure of your week of preparation might be what Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs need. And doing that in Kansas City as opposed to Germany might be the best way for them to go.
Okay, let's crank back up Canty.
Hey now.
Let's do it. Let's keep it going to our next quarterback matchup. Let's talk about the big game in Cincinnati. Can Josh Allen outplay Joe Burrow?
Yeah, he can. And here's the thing. Josh Allen might be one of the most unique talents the NFL has seen in quite some time. You're talking about a guy that might be the second fast to get to 200 total touchdowns in history. Only Pat Mahomes has done it quicker with 78 games. Josh Allen is at 85 games. He's probably going to do it this weekend. Because he's running the football more and more design runs, I think that can give the Cincinnati Bengals defense a problem.
All right, and then one more, the big one in Philadelphia. Can Dak beat the Eagles?
Absolutely he can. Dak Prescott has owned the NFC East since 2017. He's 25-4 in the division with 57 total touchdowns to 17 interceptions. This guy is a flat-out baller. And here's the deal. The Eagles have allowed the 25th ranked opponent QBR and have the 3rd most touchdowns to the 2nd fewest interceptions. So this could be a big Dak Prescott game in the Link on Sunday.
So, and you see the numbers. Here they are. Again, to your point, against the Eagles, he's been particularly good. There's been this talk about Dak not playing well against the good teams. It's really San Francisco. He has struggled against the Niners. They have had his number. You look at his numbers against Philadelphia, they've been extraordinarily good. And so here I thought, Cindy, put the picks on the screen. I thought I was going way out. I thought I was going to shock everybody by taking Dallas. Graziano, when I saw that next to your name, it really surprised me. Why do you like the Cowboys in this game?
Really hard game to pick, obviously, and it's tough to pick against the Eagles anytime. But right now, I think the Cowboys are playing at a very high level. I think their passing game is operating at a very high level, and the Eagles' secondary is vulnerable at the moment. Jalen Hurts, as tremendous as he is, as much as I believe in him, big picture, he's a little banged up. He's playing with an injured knee, and it's not keeping them from winning, and it's not keeping him from playing really well. But I think if you're talking about tiebreaker stuff in a close matchup, that's the kind of stuff I looked at. And I thought, look, the Cowboys went into the season saying they wanted to run the ball. They haven't done that well. If they try and do it Sunday, they're probably in big trouble. And I think they know that. And I think the way that Dak is playing right now and his history against the Eagles means they could have a big game in the passing game.
Yeah, there quite literally isn't a path to victory for the Dallas Cowboys that doesn't involve Dak Prescott playing at a really high level and outplaying Jalen Hurts. So that's something that we absolutely have to see happen. And the Eagles are suspect in the back end. Their secondary is a work in progress. That's why a couple of weeks ago they went out and traded for an all-pro safety in Kevin Byard. So this is an opportunity for Dak and the Dallas Cowboys to make a statement about who they are and being real contenders in the NFC. If it doesn't happen now with Dak and the Cowboys, when is it going to happen? This is the time. They've got to have more urgency, quite frankly, than the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to winning this game on Sunday, because they clearly have more to prove.
As I come to Bart, I'd like to ask Cindy, our director, permission. Can you change mine to Eagles? I'm going to make an admission right now. The reason I picked Dallas is because I had 4 analysts on my set yesterday, and everybody picked the Eagles. I had 4 Eagles on my screen.
Come on over to the green side,
I was positive that was going to happen again today. So I said, I'll take Dallas. If everyone thinks one thing is going to happen, then I have to go the other way. Now that I see all you guys like Dallas, I'm going back to what my head said, which is I think the Eagles are going to win.